Imagine living in a time when the water you drank every day could make you sick, and no one was testing it. No one was asking questions. No one even knew there was a problem, except one person. Her name was Ellen Swallow Richards. And yes, her real name was Swallow. In the late 1800s, science labs were not built for women. In fact, they were often closed to them entirely. But Richards refused to accept that. With determination and quiet persistence, she became the first woman admitted to MIT. But she wasn't there just to make history. She was there to make a difference. While others focused on big, visible discoveries, Richards turned her attention to something most people couldn't see: the quality of the water people depended on every day. At the time, cities were growing rapidly, factories were dumping waste, sewage systems were unreliable, but no one was measuring what was actually in the water. So Richards began collecting samples from rivers, from wells, from towns across Massachusetts. Back in the lab, she analyzed them carefully, and what she found was deeply concerning: contaminated water, hidden dangers, a silent threat affecting thousands of people. For the first time, someone had proof. Richards didn't keep that knowledge in the lab. She shared it, pushing for better sanitation, cleaner water systems, and new public health standards. Because of her work, Massachusetts developed the nation's first standards for water quality and the first modern sewage treatment facility was built in Lowell. In addition to testing water and air, she also explored the idea that both are essential components of human nutrition and overall health. Her work helped lay the foundation for modern environmental science and changed how communities protect something we often take for granted. Ellen Swallow Richards didn't discover something you could hold in your hand or see in the sky. She revealed something invisible, but essential. Because of her, science didn't just stay in the lab, it flowed into everyday life. And thanks to Richards, we can all drink a little easier because she truly knew how to make waves.
And right on cue, I will drink this very clean cup of water.
Which you can trust because of her.
Cheers to you.
That's right. Yeah. What do you think about Ellen Swallow Richards?
I love the name. Yeah, like that's perfect. But yeah, this is I love this side of engineering because we don't often talk about like the environmental engineering component. I mean, this has multiple levels of engineering, but what a great story. And you said first female engineering professor at MIT?
First woman admitted to MIT.
Oh,
She was the first woman there at the whole
that's
school.
cool.
So she paved a lot of ways for people. Yeah. Pretty awesome. I don't know, have you ever tested your water before?
I have not.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, have you?
Yes, I have. Well, I have a well, and the well water sometimes smells weird, and so I was testing it just to see, well, what is it that's smelling? Because it smelled kinda like sulfur, so I just wanted to affirm, am I actually smelling sulfur? Is it clean enough to drink? What am I feeding to my chickens? So I tested the water, and then I also tested our tap water, my filtered water from my fridge, and a bottle water so I could have a good comparison.
Ooh,
And man,
tell me more.
drink that bottled water, Natasha. It is,
Really?
yes. And my filter water, like the little filters that you buy to put in your refrigerator, it says to
Yeah.
changing out every 6 months.
Mhm.
No, change it every 3. Change it quarterly.
Ooh,
It
okay.
was actually introducing things to the water that wasn't in the normal tap after a certain amount of time.
Ooh,
Yeah,
gross.
weird,
Okay.
like heavy metals and things, not good. Yeah, so
Now I'm
there's
scared. Okay.
yeah, don't Google water quality problems either. It's a slippery slope. Mhm.
But there's also differences in bottled water, right? Because there's like yeah.
I would assume so, and, then you're having to deal with plastics, right? So,
Mhm.
what I didn't test is we live in an area that gets a lot of tornadoes, And so we have a tornado filter, and I keep that stocked with things, including big gallon jugs of water for everybody in my family. And that sits there for a while. And I have not tested that yet to see, well, how good is the water
Still,
quality after it's been
right.
sitting in this dark, warm place for a while. Probably not very good, but I don't know what else to do, you know?
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, really interesting topic. And I know you know some things about air quality, which I feel like goes hand in hand with water quality and often taken for granted. I think more people are more aware of water quality nowadays. People will
that's
often
true.
be like, yeah, filter your water or go for bottled water. But air quality, like, oh, just change my filter when I remember to.
Do
But
you ever, when you check the weather, check your air quality?
we comment all the time, my husband and I, about they have the big uh, signs that they can program on the sides of the highways that say the air quality.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's one along the highway, and I just saw it yesterday coming back from the airport. And I've never seen it not say orange. Like it is
Mm,
limit outdoor activity because the air quality is on orange, which I don't know if that's
yikes.
the highest level, but
It's
is
not.
bad apparently. Like, don't go outside because you shouldn't be breathing this air. What?
Yeah, there's definitely gradients. So it's AQI is like this international standard. So when you go on your like weather app, it now has this AQI metric, which tells you a number, which is like how bad is the air quality. And that just means how many particles are in the air. And those particles can be like there was a wildfire and there's smoke particles in the air, car exhaust, construction is a big one. So in your town, maybe there's a lot of wind, and so it's like picking up a bunch of things, or farming close by, or the geography. So if you're kind of in a valley and it's trapping like LA, it traps a lot of the smog, and that's why they're also famous for their bad air quality.
Mm,
But yeah, it's something that I've started noticing on my weather app that I check. And if you have a kid that has asthma, right, and then that's one of those where it says limit outdoor activity, it's really for those parents.
which is me. I have a child
Yeah.
with asthma,
But
so
it's like,
yeah.
what do you do?
Right. It's like, dude, I don't know, wear a mask. What do you do for air quality? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just so much to that. So with water and air quality are things that this Ellen Swallow Richards studied. And we have, of course, a freebie that goes along with this for those that are listening and want to talk about it with your students, because it is an important topic that I think everybody needs to be aware about, because we still don't have great solutions for all these things. So in this free lesson that goes along with her story, kids will test a water sample using things that you can do in your classroom, really simple tests like making a pH indicator out of red cabbage and seeing what the pH is of your water, because that can tell you some things. And then being able to see if it's hard water or soft water, how many minerals are in it, things like that. So make sure you check out that freebie. It's in our STEM Explorer library. So this made me think, Natasha, we've been sharing people's stories for like this whole year now, which we have quite a few. And some of these people discovered things or invented things on purpose, like they were doing research on it and trying to do these things. But others came upon it accidentally. And I was thinking through, like, how do you purpose to be able to discover things accidentally? Because I feel like not everybody can do that. And it made me think of something that I learned in undergrad when I was doing my creativity studies, because I got my minor in creative studies, which people are like, what is that, coloring? Yes, that's what I did. I got my minor in coloring. No, it was about how the brain works, but I have a video that I want to show you because I'm
Ooh.
interested to see how this works on you before we talk about it. Are you up for it?
Yeah, this is a
I
first in the STEM space.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you a video, which I realize is gonna be really weird on a podcast episode because you're gonna be watching this video. But here's how it works. I'm going to play you a video. And in this video, it asks you to count how many times the players wearing white passed the basketball. Now you played basketball, right, Natasha?
I did. Yeah,
So
middle school.
you're aware of the different ways that people can pass a basketball. So you know what that means. Like they're
Like a bounce pass or something.
Yeah, so they're going to be passing it different ways, chest pass, bounce pass. And I want you to count how many times the players wearing white, just wearing white, pass
Okay.
the basketball in this video. And maybe count out loud so that's not a really awkward silence.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, think you can do it?
I
Had
got
enough
this.
coffee? You got this.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna play this video.
You're like 100 people at the same time. Ah, 1. I don't know. 2,
hmm
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It like froze. 8. Nope. 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're going with 14.
Okay, you got 14. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so 14, did you notice anything interesting about the way they passed the ball? Maybe.
No. I was close.
Oh, you were close. The correct answer was 15.
I blame the
Right.
freezing.
But did you see the gorilla?
I absolutely did not see a gorilla. What? Was there someone dressed in a gorilla costume?
Okay, so it's gonna play it kind of in slow motion here. Back up. Do you see
Oh
the
my
gorilla?
goodness. There's totally someone
What do you
wearing
see right now?
a dancing gorilla. It's a man in a gorilla
Yeah,
costume.
that just walks right through the
Just walked
scene.
straight through. Totally did not see. I was zoomed in, focused.
Yeah, so this is called the selective attention test, and it's pretty old, but you can kind of guess how this works. Is what it measures is if you're focused in on something, are you going to be able to even notice other things that
It's
are
like tunnel
happening?
vision.
And yeah, right, tunnel vision. Most people know. Most people, you were looking for passes, you were focused in on counting them. Your brain was also filtering out things, specifically filtering out the people that were not wearing white that were passing the ball. You were like, no, only the white people passing the ball, people wearing the white t-shirts. So there's a man dressed, or I don't know, girl, boy
Maybe.
dressed in
Mhm.
a black gorilla costume that waltzes right through the scene, does a little dance,
Yep.
and you never saw it.
I never saw it. That's
What
wild.
Yeah, this is a great one to show to students because there's so many of them that will, like, be like, "Wait, what? Like, I wait, nuh-uh, like, that's not real, like, play it again." And then you can play it again, and there's
I think we
obviously a
probably
big
showed a different video.
right? That's what they think. They start blaming you and be like, "That's a joke. Is this for real?" Like, "No, yeah, really was there."
'Cause I definitely picked up that there were other players wearing other colors, and so the
Mhm.
gorilla was just another player wearing non-white.
Right. Yep. And it wasn't. And he even stood in the
Yeah.
middle. You saw stood in the middle, thumped on his chest, and you never saw it. Isn't that interesting?
I feel like you could do so many life lessons also.
Well, recently, this came up, and why I'm thinking about it is I was in a meeting, and it was kind of a heated meeting. There was a debate about something happening, and one person stood up and talked that was kind of pivotal to the discussion. Well, later on, other people that were on the other side said, "Oh, no, like, why didn't they stand up and talk?" And people were like, "Well, he did." And they're like, "No, he didn't." And they didn't remember because they weren't looking for it. They were focused in on something
Mhm.
else. And I thought, "Oh, this works." And
Yep.
it made me think as we're talking about these people that were making all these discoveries, there's something different about people that can notice things and not filter out what they should be deemed unimportant. So I made a list that accidentally discovered things, and I feel like it's related to this selective attention. So you may have heard of some of these people. Alexander Fleming. Does that ring any bells?
Yes, I
He
can't place them
accidentally discovered penicillin.
though. Oh,
You
okay.
know this story? Yeah. So he noticed that there was mold growing in a petri dish that had killed nearby bacteria. But instead of throwing it away, because like thinking most people when they're doing an experiment, one grows mold, you're like, oh, well, that failed. Because he's trying to do something else. He investigated it and discovered the first antibiotic, which saved millions of people. So pretty awesome. Percy Spencer, probably didn't heard. I've never heard of him. He accidentally discovered a microwave. He was working with radar equipment and a chocolate bar in his pocket melted. And he was
Oh,
curious about
yikes.
it and discovered that he had invented a microwave.
That's
So,
wild.
uh, where most people would be like, oh man, my chocolate bar melted. Oh well, and
Yeah.
like keep working on what you're doing, right? But didn't filter out that information, instead, looked into it. Wilhelm Röntgen, something like that, accidentally discovered X-rays. He noticed a glowing screen while experimenting with cathode rays, and
Ooh.
he realized he discovered a new kind of invisible radiation that allowed us to see inside the human body. Stephanie Kwolek accidentally discovered Kevlar. She was it was a failed experiment that she was trying to create some other kind of material, and she noticed this strange cloudy solution that she then turned into fibers and ended up being one of the strongest materials ever made.
Wow.
I'm not sure why this is in this list, but it kind of works. Ruth Wakefield, have you heard of her?
Mm-mm.
Okay, she accidentally created chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, you would know who this is.
This is very important. Like the
Important
beginner of
discovery.
Toll House, this is where this started. She was trying to make chocolate cookies, I believe, and she expected the chocolate chips to melt in the dough, but it didn't. And they just stayed in their form. Accidentally created chocolate chip cookies. And
Incredible.
then a guy named Roy Plunkett accidentally discovered Teflon. And it was when a gas he was experimenting with turned into a slippery solid, which is now used in nonstick cookware. So,
Hmm.
so it's interesting. Last podcast episode, we talked about visualization and how you can't visualize things the same way that I do, which is
Right.
really interesting. Listen to that episode if you haven't, because I'm still trying to figure out what the implications are with that. But it made me think, does that, the way our brains work, how can we grow them in a way that we don't just dismiss things that could be really important or helpful? And one thing I was thinking about this morning specifically, because we, for some reason, decided to record podcasts on Monday mornings, which both of us are like dirty hair. I mean, I speak for
I
myself.
just woke up. Yeah. Well, I
And
wish I just woke up.
not my best day. But I'm really tired, and I was actually coming up with some ideas and writing things down, and I was like, wow, I think I'm most creative when I'm really tired. Is there science to that? And yes, there's actually been studies
Ooh.
done. When you're most tired, your filter that normally weeds out things that are unimportant, it is not there. And so you're more likely to notice things, you're more likely to create new pathways. A lot of it is out of laziness too. Like you're wanting, what is the easiest way that I can do this thing right now?
Right, right.
So, but I don't recommend making your students tired if you want them to be more creative. So I don't know how to facilitate that.
But it's also something you could ask your students to notice. Like, are they feeling more creative, like when they're tired or like late at night?
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of studies about dreams. So the reason why I was connecting it to the visualization differences was you said you can't visualize things like pictures in your head, but you
Right.
still dream
Yes.
and you dream in pictures.
Correct.
Are
I
they
mean,
in?
like a full movie. It's like I'm watching a
Okay.
movie in my brain.
And I think that's related. I think it has to be where you don't have the filters. I think you're just really good at focusing in and completing tasks because you're the most efficient person that I know. And you can knock out tasks so easily, whereas I'm like so distracted by everything.
Yeah,
And which I think is a superpower of yours. But when you let
helps
your
sometimes.
guard down when you're asleep, that's when you can dream and
I actually did look this up because I was curious, can I train myself to see images? Because there's like this whole online community. And so I couldn't
supposedly.
find any evidence that it is trainable, but I will
Mm.
continue exploring this because I want to see stuff in my brain on call, on demand.
So here's what I want you to try. You're now my lab rat. I want you
Okay.
to not sleep. Just
Okay. For like
don't
how
sleep.
long?
Uh, we went several trials. So let's do like 32 hours and then we'll extend it
Okay.
to like 48 hours, maybe
Uh-huh.
72. And then you just take notes about things that you can see if you start
So I just like hallucinate.
hallucinating.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll report back.
And then don't go to sleep until we turn on mics and record a podcast.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds like a
Noted.
great thing.
But I feel like
So,
it's trainable, right? Like, don't you think if I just sit and try hard enough, I will summon the image of an apple or whatever everybody
I
else
think
can?
so because I'm relating this to creativity, and creativity is like a muscle. There's so many people that will say, "I'm just not a creative person." And that's not a thing. Like,
Mhm.
you can train yourself to be more creative. You can practice being more creative. You can get
Yeah.
more tools that will help you harness more creativity. So I think that it has to be related. I think you should be able to visualize things with the right tools. People just haven't figured it out yet. So I'm
I'll report
gonna
back.
really focus in on this as I'm falling asleep, and then maybe those creative powers and that weird state of in between sleep can come up with some solutions for you. I'm gonna
Okay.
work on this. I'm gonna help you.
So, like, where in your brain do you see images?
Where?
Yeah.
Like,
Is it like a movie is playing in front of your eyes, or is it like back in your brain? Like, I
mm, it's like I'm seeing it. It's like in front of me.
that's weird. Okay.
Hmm. I
Because
guess
there
I've
are
never
different
thought
ways people visualize. That's why I'm asking. Because some people see it like in this feels like behind their and like in their brain, if that makes sense.
huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this more. I'm not really sure. I think it's in front of me.
Yeah, which is a way people visualize.
Hmm. And mine's the same whether my eyes are closed or open. I don't know if that's different.
Yeah, I don't
And I only
know.
know that because I was talking to one of my children about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I can see everything." And we are talking about it, and I was like, "Okay, I think we're on the same page." And one of my other daughters was like, no, I don't. Like, I see an outline, but that's it." I was like, "What?"
Ah, okay.
So, so interesting. Yeah, but I think there's definitely a way that you can train it. And so there's some myths that are built into this that we'd need to debunk too. We've talked about debunking the left right brain in an episode
Oh,
before.
yeah. Mhm.
That's not a thing. Like, you use both sides of your brain for tasks require both sides of your brain. Also, there's a myth that you only use 10% of your brain or some small percentage. Have you heard this before?
Yeah,
And like some people use more percentage, like Einstein used 100% of his brain or something like that. Or there's a movie, Escape to Witch Mountain. Have you seen that?
I'm not.
It has The Rock in it. It's really old, but a good movie for your kids to, well, probably be a little old for your kids. It's like these aliens come down, but they look like humans, and their spaceship broke, and they're kids, and they want to get back home, and they have telepathy and telekinesis, and they're like, well, it's because we use all of our brain, and you only know how to use a small percentage of your brain, but you could do what we can do if you used all of your brain. And that's not true. Like, we use 100% of our brain to do all of these
Makes sense to
tasks.
me. Yeah.
But I bet there's just some different pathways that are in people that visualize things differently that you could probably retrain.
I
That
mean,
have
like you said, brain is a muscle, so you have to keep training it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll work on that. We're gonna knock that out sometime.
I do not believe that, but
Well, I do think it's an important discussion to have with students to just see where they visualize things and to talk about creativity and how they can be more aware of failing forward all the time, about getting past any kind of time you have failure, use as an opportunity to grow. We don't often talk about it as a use as an opportunity to pivot, which I feel like is what happens for a lot of these people that discovered something. They had a failure and they didn't just get over it and be like, okay, no, that's okay. I'm going to keep trying, do it again, which is great. But instead, they
right.
pivoted and were like, I'm going to investigate this, which I
Yeah.
think would be a really useful way to develop more of that awareness of what's going on in science
Yeah.
specifically.
And I know we're wrapping up here. I have a real quick story for you that popped in my head
Let's
for this idea of like thinking outside the box. And in science is always said to be very objective, right? And you're like collecting data, and the data is like, well, here's the evidence. But people don't realize how much bias is in the data, and there's the scientific interpretation. Like the
Mhm.
scientist brings their own biases. And so when I was an undergrad, I was studying how to grow these piezoelectric fibers. And it's like this really cool process where you're like spinning these fibers. And so I found a paper, and I'm just undergrad, so I'm replicating those results, and I cannot get the results to be the same. And so I was like, what is happening? So I thought it was my setup. I was changing all the parameters that they were changing, and I was not getting those same results. And I mean, I could have just stopped there and been like, well, I guess something's broken. I don't know what's going on. The big difference was I was in Texas, and this study was taking place on the East Coast. And the biggest difference was humidity levels. And that is not something that was ever recorded, measured in these tests. But once I started controlling the humidity, I was getting vastly different results, and then I could replicate their results. And so it's this idea of you may not even be looking at all the data, or you may be missing a piece of the data. So I think that relates to
Mhm.
your theme.
Yeah, absolutely. Because those are, yeah, you you are especially good at stepping back and looking at the big picture and saying, what are we missing? And being able to figure that out. I think that is something that's really hard to do that you have to practice.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, we definitely need more opportunities for kids to learn how to do that. And I think it just takes more exposure to, hey, think about it in this way. Let's look at it from a different perspective. And there's lots of tools out there for that. And maybe that's something that we can tackle in another episode.
Agreed.
Well, I we always end with some feats of STEM in the news.
Can't
And I've
wait.
changed this time, Natasha, to meet your disability. Since you're having trouble visualizing some of these stories, except for the one from last week about the underwear. I think you got that one.
I got that one.
But I'm gonna do a hot take at the end of each of these on what my recommendation is for how you should use this information. So it's
Okay.
not so abstract. Think that would be helpful?
That sounds great.
I'll see if you agree with me or not. Okay, first up, why mosquitoes always find you.
Oh,
Scientists from Georgia Institute of Technology and MIT discovered that mosquitoes don't follow each other. Instead, they independently respond to the same cues, especially carbon dioxide from breath and dark visual targets like clothing. Using 3D tracking and millions of data points, researchers found that the combination of CO2 and dark colors is what most strongly attracts mosquitoes, helping explain their behavior and offering new ideas for more effective mosquito control. So here's my recommendation, Natasha. When you're outside this summer, mosquitoes are starting to come in, I think. So make sure you wear bright colors, not dark colors, bright, light colors, and also get a face plant. This is my new
What?
invention idea, and I think it
Okay.
has a really marketable title, a face plant. I think we need to have some sort of harness or something,
Mhm.
like a pot holder that holds a plant near where you breathe, which will do
Oh,
two
so it's
things.
absorbing.
It will absorb your CO2 so the mosquitoes
Mhm.
can't find you and give you fresh oxygen. Face plant.
I will just use mosquito repellent, but that's a great idea, Claire.
Okay. I mean, they have like car plants are popular now, where you have a plant in your car in your cup
Oh,
holder.
oh,
My
that's
husband
cute.
said no, but we'll still do something with that face plant. He didn't say no to that. I haven't brought it up, but uh
Well,
yeah.
instead of like a plant, can it be a face wreath? Like you wear it on your head.
Oh, yes. Like instead of a scarf, it's like a spring scarf, but it's a
There you
wreath
go.
of
Yeah.
vines. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
I like it. Uh-huh. Okay. Next, how beavers are fighting climate change.
Okay, pause. I think this is such a good STEM activity to have your students come up with the most ridiculous inventions to a problem. Like, that's the
Yes.
goal. Okay, continue.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Be so
I love
fun.
that.
Like, that's all
So
they're rated on. Like,
is
the as a
ridiculousness.
class, they vote on which is the most ridiculous,
It's
but
kind of like
workable.
Rube Goldberg, except instead of accomplishing a task, it's an invention.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's realistic. Because they always
Mhm.
jump to, "If I had a robot that could do whatever."
Yeah,
I'm like, "No, no
right.
robots. It has to be a thing that's not no technology
Because
based."
realistic actually works ridiculous.
Yeah. I am up for this challenge. Please, if you do this with your students, please email us. We wanna hear, and we will maybe even have your student come on the
The future.
podcast and explain
Yeah.
their invention. I would love that. Yes. Okay. I have a new way of looking at all these news stories now. Okay, how beavers are fighting climate change. Scientists found that beavers can transform rivers into powerful carbon storing systems by building dams that create wetlands and trap carbon rich materials. Over time, these beaver shaped environments can store significantly more carbon than normal streams, making them a surprising and natural ally in reducing climate change. So, here's what I think you need to do. You need to make your local stream more attractive to beavers
Okay.
so that more beavers come in and we can be effective at reducing the climate change that's happening because of carbon
With the
emissions.
beavers.
So,
Okay.
especially if you're in a big city, you first need to make a stream and
Mhm.
then plant the trees that beavers especially like, which are aspen, willow, birch, and maple trees. That's what they like to eat.
Mhm.
So make those.
And then wait 10 years for them to grow.
Buy the really big ones. Just,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Transplant
Mhm.
them. Got it.
Yes. Do a fundraiser to buy big trees that beavers will chop down. Okay, that I need to workshop that one a
Yeah,
little
we'll
bit
work
more.
that one out.
Yeah. All right. And last but not least, keep your eyes open. A study from Shanghai Jiao Tong University found that closing your eyes in a noisy environment can actually make it harder to hear faint sounds. Researchers discovered that visual input, especially images or videos related to the sound, helps the brain focus, while closing the eyes causes overfiltering that can block out important sounds. So, do you ever, if you're trying to focus on a sound, close your eyes? That actually will make it worse.
So, for example, if you're like at an event and someone's trying to talk to you, you often like want to focus in. So you're saying keep your eyes open, and that helps you hear that person and block
Yes.
out this surrounding sound. I'm going to test this out.
Yes.
Ooh,
So here is my other recommendation to use
okay.
this information. If your kids are being really noisy and you're getting like overwhelmed, like I don't know if that ever happens to you, and you're like, just stop
Oh, yeah.
talking. I need you to just be quiet for a minute. Just close your eyes, and your brain's gonna like overfilter, and you might not even hear them
Yeah.
because
Let me know how that works.
yeah, there you go.
Uh huh. Yeah. Magical. Thank you. Man, where were you in the toddler years, Claire?
I'm still in the toddler years. I'm still in it.
Yeah,
So
try it with you yourself.
mhm. Yes. So there you go. Do you think I was more creative by being really sleepy? I think this is a
I think we're great. Yeah, I love this. We have to continue it. I like your hot takes and ridiculous ideas of inventions related to the
well,
story.
these were serious. We hadn't talked about
Oh,
making them ridiculous yet.
yeah, true. Sorry.
Now my feelings are hurt. It's okay. I'm gonna close my eyes now. You can keep talking.
Okay. I
But
can't
for
visualize
now,
anything, so
yes.
I'm gonna use this forever when you're mad at me, but I can't even visualize.
Oh, yes, please do. Okay. Well, tune